This build would absolutely dominate anything Destiny 2 throws at you. I soloed a mythic mission at minus 40 power, and when I got to the final boss, I didn't even need a weapon. My grenades alone melted him. With this setup, you have unlimited grenades, volatile rounds, and endless special and heavy ammo. Basically infinite power in one build. So if you want to one-shot everything in your path, keep watching. I'll show you exactly how to use this build to its full potential before you try it yourself. So without wasting any of your time, let's get right into the build. To start off, I want to talk about the exotic armor piece you're going to want to use for this build. And this exotic gauntlet is called Controverse Hold. They did change a little bit on this exotic armor piece. So now your charged void grenades will return grenade energy and also apply weaken to enemies upon hitting them with your grenade. So your charged void grenades will return grenade energy on hit, and they will also apply weaken. And that's going to help for this build because the more damage we deal, the more they die, and the more grenade energy we're going to be receiving to give us that infinite loop. And also too, you will get a damage resist whenever you were to charge your void grenade, as long as you have the aspect called Chaos Accelerant, and in this build we're going to be having that. I want to talk about the stats first because I really want to let you guys know that your main priority for your stat is to go for your grenade stat. So once you reach beyond 100 within the threshold for your grenade stat, you will deal increased damage for your grenades. But let's just say you're at 200 within your grenade stat, you're going to be dealing 65% increasing damage, and that's what you're going to want to do. And I recommend you to not use any of the grenade funds. Do not use any of them. So be sure to put on the armor pieces that tie to your grenades to increase it up to 200, because on the mods for my gauntlet, I am running triple firepower. So for each copy of firepower you have, it will decrease the cooldown for the orb generation. So in order for you to activate firepower, you're going to want to get a grenade kill. Will spawn in that orb of power. So we're having 3 copies. So every time you get a kill, you're going to be getting an orb of power. So with the exotic gauntlet and those requirements that we have right now, you're going to be getting unlimited grenades, which will convert that into orbs of power. And we're going to be using armor mods within this build to increase our void weapon damage even further. Might as well we're talking about that. On the leg armor, I went with a double void weapon surge. This will benefit for our exotic weapon and also our heavy weapon. So just with 2 copies, we're going to be getting a 17% increase in damage to our void weapons. And the third mod I chose to put for this build is Void Scavenger, because we want to get as much special and heavy ammo as possible, so we won't have to worry about running low on ammo to give us that unlimited special and heavy ammo. And for the helmet, I went with Special Ammo Finder to give us even more special ammo to my exotic weapon. But if you do feel like you're getting a boatload of special ammo, you can swap this off to Heavy Ammo Finder if you want. The next mod I went with is Harmonic Siphon to again tie this to our exotic weapon and our power weapon. So this ties to your super, and the super that we have is a Void Super, so it's considered Void Siphon. So Rapid Void Weapon Final Blows would generate an orb of power. And the last mod I went with is Ashes to Assets. You would gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. For this mod specifically, if you do want to get your super really fast on your stats, I do recommend going up to 100 within your super stat. But if you don't really care about that, you can swap off Ashes to Assets for Heavy Ammo Finder if you like. For the Warlock bond, I went with Reaper. Shortly after using your class ability, your next weapon final blow will spawn in an orb of power. And what's really great about this build is that you can freely choose between using any of the 2 class abilities. In this build, I'm using Healing Rift for more survivability, even though we're going to be getting Devour, but you never know. You may be in that type of scenario where you don't have Devour, but you do have your class ability, so that class ability will help you survive longer. But if you don't really care and you're really confident about surviving, then go for Empowering Rift to increase your weapon damage even further, and also increasing your ammo generation as well. The next armor mod I went with is Time Dilation to increase the duration for my decaying armor charges. Instead of it lasting up to 10 seconds, it is now going to last up to 15 seconds per armor charge. And the last mod I went with is Powerful Attraction to automatically collect nearby orbs of power whenever we were to activate our class ability. I really love this mod, and I put this in every single one of my builds because I am too lazy to run over any orbs of power. I can just press one button and it collects everything around me. And for the chest armor, the main armor mod you're going to want to put is Void Ammo Generation to increase the ammo generation of your void weapons to give us that even more unlimited ammo, if that makes any sense. So by having this mod, the progress for your bar, for your special and your heavy weapon will go up faster. And for your other 2 mods, you could put resist mods if you want. It could be any. So for me, I went with Harmonic Resistance because that is cheap, because it ties to your super, so it's basically void resistance, and I went with solar resistance. So change it up as you please depending on what activity you're playing. Okay, I want to talk about the super for this build. It really gives you more freedom freedom when it comes to picking supers. So choose whatever super you like, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And for me, in my own opinion, I like using the Nova Bomb Vortex. So on the Void Grenades, I really recommend using Axion Bolt because this will detonate twice because of the aspect called Chaos Accelerant. We'll get onto that later, but with Axion Bolt was really cool is that once you charge it up and yeet it, it would scatter and hit multiple targets and it would just kill everything. Because the main generic build back in the day was using Vortex Grenade, I like Axion Bolt because it gives me more versatility when it comes to like range. So you won't have to rely on enemies being grouped up. Axion Bolt will chase after them. So for the aspect I did mention, which is Chaos Accelerant, it would detonate the Axion Bolt twice and it would have enhanced Seekers. But the main benefit for this aspect for this grade is that it detonates twice, which gives us even more balls, which deals even more damage to enemies. And the other aspect I went with is Feed the Void for survivability and also granting you even more grenade energy. But in order for you to activate this, you're going to have to get Void ability kills. And the main ability is going to be our Void Grenade. So for this aspect specifically, this only applies to Warlocks, is that your Devour effects are improved. So you're going to be getting more health whenever you get kills with Devour and also grenade energy. So every time you get a kill, you're going to get full HP and also more grenade energy. There is going to be 4 fragments in total. And the first one you're going to want to put for this build is Echo of Remnants. Your lingering grenade effects such as Vortex Grenade, Void Wall, Void Spike, and Axion Bolt have increased duration. So specifically for the Axion Bolt, it's going to travel further and it's going to hit enemies at a longer distance. The second fragment I went with is Echo of Persistence. Your Void abilities applied to you, such as Invisibility, Overshield, and Devour, have increased duration. So in this build specifically, we're mostly prioritizing in Devour. So we are now going to be getting 15 seconds of Devour. The third fragment I went with is Echo of Harvest. Defeating weakened targets creates an Orb of Power and a Void Breach. This fragment for this build is considered overkill when it comes to generating Orbs of Power, but if you are one of those Guardians that do not have triple firepower, then I guess this fragment will help you. But if you do have triple firepower, you can swap this fragment off to any other fragment you like. The final fragment I went for this build is Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades will grant you volatile rounds to your Void weapons. So this will grant you volatile rounds, of course, and also giving you the ability to stun anti-barrier champions for that certain amount of time, as long as you have volatile rounds procced. And the only weapon you're going to be getting anti-barrier rounds for this build is the power weapon. On the exotic weapon I chose to put for this build is Choir of One, because this thing is a powerhouse when it comes to dealing damage and also the ammo economy. And it's very forgiving. You are not going to have to run out of ammo whatsoever, as long as you're prioritizing and using your ADS instead of hip firing, because if you were to hip fire, you're going to lose more ammo and that would drain quicker and you're not going to be able to use it more often. So basically, just to sum it up for this auto rifle, if you were to ADS, you're going to treat it as an auto rifle. If you were to hit fire with this, you're going to treat it as you like shooting miniature projectiles at enemies, like how a wyvern kills you multiple times and you hate it so much. I only use the hip fire when it comes to like dealing with enemies that have a bunch of health, or when I know the enemy is going to die, so I can just confirm the kill and continue on my day. And the weapon perk I went for this auto rifle is Subsistence. It's not necessary. You can run the Destabilizing Refit or the Onslaught Refit. Any of the perks for this auto rifle works, but I just like using Subsistence. For the heavy weapon, I went with this Void machine gun called Corrective Measure. You can choose any Void weapon you like in the game, but I do recommend going for weapons that have Demolitionist to give you even more grenade energy. And also too, it helps you reload machine guns, because you know how machine guns are, they take forever to reload. So whenever you use your grenade while you have your machine gun on your hand, it's going to automatically reload your weapon from reserves, which really helps. And the fourth perk I went with is Killing Tally, just to increase my damage even further for this machine gun, because again, we're tying this build to end game content and a lot of enemies have a boatload of health, so we're going to need as much damage as possible. All right, for the seasonal artifacts, there really isn't any artifacts that are tied to this build that really helps it even further, but if you want to copy it, go for it. So what you're going to want to do for the gameplay loop for this build is to hold your grenade to convert it into the chaotic exchanger. Once you see that, toss your grenade into a boatload of enemies, and as what you see there, each and every enemy is going to die by those grenade projectiles. And it's still lurking. See how that's still going? Yeah, that is pretty busted. And as you get kills with that, you're going to be getting Devour, volatile rounds to your weapons, which will again give you anti-barrier rounds for your machine gun, but sadly not for your auto rifle because you have overload on your auto rifle. And yeah, you're going to be getting your grenade back and basically just rinse and repeat. Just keep tossing your nade until you run out of nades. But in this build, you're not going to because I just got it back. But yeah, that's basically it for the build. If you guys did enjoy this build video, I hope that helped you and you learned something new. And if you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you were to hit that like button and also subscribe. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, evening, or afternoon. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.